shiz.
Hey, this is Antonio Edward, and thank you for listening to the Shiz alog podcast. All right, there are several topics that we're going to cover today, and we're going to talk about a Google engineer who loves to talk about the bad things that Microsoft does, and I want to talk about how Google is not playing nice with Microsoft when it comes to different things. We're also going to talk about the NFL and how they're going to go from analog to digital, and you may think to yourself, wait a minute, they are already digital, not on the field. And so that's something we're going to talk about. And we're also going to talk about Facebook and Twitter launch on Google Glass, which I think is going to be awesome. But we're also going to discuss a little about the privacy concerns that people are having about Google Glass. So that's definitely something that I like to talk about. And we're also going to cover some things about the how Apple and Google, or Android, let's say, iOS and Android are doing really well as far as app sales, and of course the amount of apps that are there, Apple being the number one. And we're also going to discuss BlackBerry Marketplace as well as Microsoft's Marketplace. So I'm definitely want to get into that just a little bit. And is a 7-inch, 8-inch tablet good enough for a Windows RT tablet? I think it is. Do you want to run Microsoft Office on a 7-inch tablet or 8-inch tablet? That may be a little difficult, and so I'd like to get your opinions about that as well. Xbox One, oh my God, so much, a lot of good things about Xbox One, but there's a lot of bad things about it too, in the eyes of gamers. And I'm not a gamer, so it doesn't really affect me, but you know, for a lot of people it definitely can affect some people. And speaking about Microsoft and Google, they finally shook hands and they're going to create the YouTube app. And so I'm very happy to hear that, because trying to watch Twitter in a mobile web is not as fun as actually having a dedicated app that accesses all the meta tags that Microsoft was asking for. So it seems like they're going to get together and work on a really good app for the Windows Phone platform. And Windows 8, well, they didn't say anything about Windows 8, but I'm hoping for Windows 8 as well. I'm not talking about the RT version, not the desktop version, because you know, on a desktop, just open up Google Chrome and there's your YouTube, you know. Okay, so the first things first, you know, we know that Google and Microsoft has been at this in a major battle ever since Google came to be, and ever since, you know, they started doing Gmail, and it seems like to me that the owners of Google, the CEOs and the top brass, they just don't like Microsoft at all, and they are doing everything possible to take over that Microsoft share that Microsoft has for years. And we're not, you know, we're talking about the search engine. Of course, Microsoft, they had a search engine, but they did not really put that much concentration into the search engine. They left that to Yahoo. Yahoo at the time was the #1 search engine, and then we had AltaVista, and we had many others. We had Excite. I don't know if you guys remember that. Excite was another search engine, and you know, we had all these different platforms to go to if you just did not trust the Yahoo search. And I remember Yahoo used to be a portal for all different types of search engines. That's what it used to be. You went to Yahoo for the awesome directory search that they had, and that was what they had on their search engine. But what they did was they ported all these different search engines like Excite, AltaVista, and there were many, many others. Netscape had one, I forgot what it was called, and it gave you a huge listings of everybody's results, and it told you this came from AltaVista, this came from Excite, and it was like that for years. And Yahoo was a great place because you got a good mix. Google came up with the algorithm, which blew everybody out the water. And tell you the truth, do I still use Google search? Yes, I do. Google search is still, in my opinion, sorry Microsoft, I am very sorry for this, in my opinion, is a good search engine, maybe one step ahead of Microsoft's Bing. Bing is not bad at all. I'm telling you, Bing is awesome, and I think Bing has come a long way from MSN search and other search engines that Microsoft has had in the past. And I love going to Bing every day just to look at their high resolution photos and those videos that they show every single day. They put up a new photograph. I love looking at those. Sometimes they put up some really interesting facts. You click on the little eye at the bottom right and you see more detailed information about that photo. Or no, it takes you to a search engine which is related to that photo. But okay, so back to Google security. A Google engineer who loves annoying Microsoft, and this comes from a website called businessinsider.com, says he found a new Windows 7 and Windows 8 bug. Okay, great. But not only did he just find a bug, he publicly announced it for everybody who is a potential hacker to try to use that information. And now here's my opinion about this. Google, you are a very large company, okay? You are a large company, a lot of eyes are on you. It's not like this guy, and I'll give his name, the name is in the article, let me pull it up. It's Tavis Ormandy is this guy's name. He's an information security engineer at Google, and he found a pretty obvious bug. Of course, pretty obvious for a person who's into information security will definitely understand what pretty obvious means. To me, I probably don't notice it. I am a troubleshooter, not a designer, not an engineer, not a security officer like Tavis Ormandy. But he sent the information over to Microsoft, and what a lot of big companies do, even if they're in competition with each other, is that they report that information over to their competitors, and then a week later they will publicize it and blow it out the water. And this is what Tavis did. He put all that information before Microsoft was able to come up with a fix for it. As far as I know, the fix has been implemented. So that information that Tavis gave out, if you do your regular Windows updates, you should be okay. This is why it's important to do your updates. Okay, everybody out there, that's good advice. So, sorry, I'm drinking water. And so, the thing is that he did not really do it publicly. There are several websites out there that developers use, security officers use for these type of things, and so they're in forums. But anybody can join the forums. Sometimes some of those forums are invite only, but a lot of the forums are publicly accessible where you sign up for it and you're in there, and anybody can get that information. If Microsoft found a bug on Google's servers or Google Apps or whatever, Microsoft will do the same, and they will do the same thing. Now, this Tavis guy has been getting a lot of hate from the people in the industry. Even a Google user, I'm not going to give his name, but there was a comment made on a different website. I'm not going to point to it because I don't want people to go to them and say, "Wow, you're hating on Google if you are a Google lover." This guy says, "Yes, I'm a Google Apps user. I'm a Google user all the way." That was wrong. You know, you could have told Microsoft about it. Microsoft could have come out with a fix for it on the Windows updates. Bam, there it is. It's fixed, and everybody's computer's protected again. You know, and these are kind of things that I think the technology companies are doing things wrong, including Microsoft, is the fact that they're not playing nice together. And that's something else I want to talk about. The YouTube app, that will be later on in discussion, is that these technology companies aren't playing nice with each other. And I think it's wrong. You know, when you have different OSs out there, Microsoft has an OS, Apple has an OS, there's Linux, there's Unix, and there's so many others that not as popular, but you know, they're out there. Firefox OS, Chrome OS. You know, I really do believe is if Microsoft has services that are on, let's say Linux, you know, they're coming up with Office 2013 for Linux. I think that's what I heard, and Google OS. You know, you can access Office 365. And so, in order to protect your customers, I will let Google know. Say, hey, Google, we found a bug. Please fix it. You know, or you got the information. You know, just let you guys know. And if they don't jump to it right away, then you publicize it. But I don't think you should give detailed information. I think that is something that can be worked on between the two companies. Because my thing is that there are a lot of PCs out there. Google could have sent that information to Microsoft. Google could have publicized it, but not give the details. Microsoft work on a fix because there are a lot of people who use Google services on a Windows PC. Okay? And so I would like to protect my customers even though they're using a competitor's OS. That's how I feel about it. And so, you know, it's the same thing. You know, if you build a ship, let's say you own a shipping manufacturing company, and your competitor notices that a flaw in the mixtures of metal that you're using to build the hull, okay, to build the hull, instead of saying, "Ooh, we're going to let them fail and let the ship sink and kill thousands of people," I would let them know. Say, "Hey guys, hey Carnival," or Carnival doesn't build ships, but you know, hey whoever builds ships, you know, we notice a flaw in your mixtures of metal, you know, or steel or whatever. I mean, I'm not a connoisseur on ships, but we like to just let you guys know that is a wrong mix. You know, you may want to go back to the drawing board. You don't have to tell them how to fix it. Just let them know that you noticed it and let them work on it fix for themselves. And I think that's a better way to go about it than to let the ships sail and sink, all because they are your competitor. Because we're talking about people's lives here. And the same thing with computer viruses and malware. You know, anything that if you notice a security flaw, let the company know about it. But you don't have to tell them how to fix it. Just say, hey, I noticed this flaw is in this patch and this and this and that and the other. You know, just want to let you guys know. Have a good day. Another thing that is good on Microsoft's side, though, is that what people have to remember is that I don't care what you use, whether it's a Mac, Linux, Unix, if it's Windows, Google Chrome, or Chrome OS, you know, it doesn't matter. There's a bug and there's a flaw in every OS because we're all human beings, and it's human beings that programs those OSs, and that's why they have what is called updates. And that's why we have the internet, you know, so that we can automatically update our software to ensure that those fixes are met. And so the security releases and, you know, and just standard updates. It's good to have those because you never know when you put something out, there's a hole in everything. And it's impossible for a person to have those holes covered for every single event. Okay, someone's going to find something somewhere. But besides that, Microsoft is, I think they have a score here. They have a win here when it comes to the NFL. The NFL, they have rules against having digital media on the field. Yes, they can take videotapes into the locker room and they can watch, well, not videotapes anymore, but I'm sure they got DVDs or hard drives, whatever, memory sticks, whatever. but they can look at plays while they're in the locker room or in the home office. But when it comes to being on the field, NFL has rules about having computers and video cameras. They have to stick to laminated playbooks and Polaroid images. So there's someone out there taking Polaroid images of the last play, and of course those get developed instantly, as we all know with Polaroids, and they can show the plays to the quarterbacks and figure out what their next move is going to be. But with the next generation of Xbox and the Microsoft Surface, and Surface being a tough little thing, you can drop it, bang it around, and 90% of the time it won't break. It's not completely unbreakable, but it's pretty damn strong in itself. They're going to be able to use the Surface, and I imagine that they'll probably add some mandate to it, and to the uses of the Surface, probably add some type of restrictions on the Surface to limit them to what they can do. But the point is that they're going to go completely digital, and the Xbox is going to be used as a tool, I guess, in the locker room. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, I kind of got this twisted up here. Okay, I'm kind of reading the article again. The Xbox, if you notice in the Xbox One announcement that the Xbox is going to be completely interactive when it comes to football viewing. So you'll be able to look up player scores and information, and also interact with your fantasy football team at the same time as the game is going. So that's one thing. So I guess the NFL has signed a contract with Microsoft, and it'll probably be this coming season, where they're going to give Surface computers to every football coach, and also make the Xbox the entertainment center for all the NFL games. I used to be into football many years ago. I may just get back into it just to see how that works. If I do get an Xbox One, I'd like to see how that works. I would love to see how all that comes together. So that's one good thing that I like to see, is that TV is becoming more interactive. There's a whole different discussion about what gamers think about Xbox One, but in fact, we'll talk about that next. Actually, we'll go into that real quick. As you know, a few days ago, Microsoft announced the Xbox One. Now, the Xbox One has a lot of controversy on it. It's a great piece of hardware. Gamers don't like it. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time with this one, though. It's still a gaming machine. Yes, it's got extra stuff on it. Yes, you can watch TV, you can record, it's got built-in DVR. You can probably get an Xbox with a 500 gig or a 1 terabyte hard drive, or plug in an external hard drive to add even more memory. Yes, it will probably come with cable inputs and and other ways to input your DS or DirecTV, or any type of satellite system into it, where the guide will show up, like the TV guide, and you can interact with your TV, interact with shows like Games of Thrones and stuff like that. And all that will happen on your screen. So, and then you can Skype your friends and put that screen off to the side like you do on a Windows 8 computer, and talk to your friends while you're watching TV, and you guys can communicate with them while the show is going on. I think that's great. At the same time, it has even more capabilities to being the ultimate gaming machine. And let me tell you, Call of Duty Ghosts, that game looks, I saw a trailer. I'm going to put the link to all these different things that I'm talking about. I saw a trailer to the Call of Duty Ghosts. I was in war. Keep in mind, I was in the Army. I went to Iraq for 15 months with the 1st Armored Division, and I was an Apache crew chief. I swear, it looked like I was in a war zone. The graphics were superb, the sound, everything. I'll put the trailer to the game, But supposedly this gaming console, Xbox One, will be coming out later on this year. I don't know if you heard my last podcast, but in the last podcast I mentioned that Xbox will either be called the Xbox Infinity, Xbox 720, or the Xbox 360 Plus. But I guess no one had the idea that it was going to be called the Xbox One. So the naming sounds kind of off though, because you already had the first Xbox, then you named it Xbox 360. So where did they get the Xbox One from? They didn't really explain why they gave it the word one. Maybe because it's the #1 entertainment system in the world. Who knows? PlayStation 4 is going to be coming out this year as well. In fact, both of these gaming consoles will be coming out shortly before the holidays, and so that'll be something. And would I get one? Yes, I would, because of the entertainment factor. I can watch Netflix and Hulu. Oh, wait a minute, you can do all that on Apple TV as well. Yes, you can. I imagine that later on this year, Apple's going to make a big announcement with a more interactive Apple TV. I'm guaranteeing it. It's going to happen. Okay, so just expect that. But I know I'm going off topic here, and so I'll be getting it for that reason, the Xbox One, and hopefully it will have Amazon on it as well, so I can rent movies. And I bought Avatar on Vudu, which is another video rental site, and I purchased Avatar on it. So I would like to purchase some more movies so that I can watch it online and not worry about having DVDs or Blu-rays. I can just stream it 1080p into my TV and watch it anytime I want to, no matter where I move. I don't have to worry about packing my DVDs or Blu-rays. Though it's nothing like having the actual disc and having the liner notes and reading the pages. And I mean, it's of course you got the extra features behind the scenes, the different audio tracks. You got the Dolby AC3, the DTS. Nothing will sound better than a Blu-ray. Unless the bandwidth is so high for your internet connection to stream, uncompressed audio through the internet, 7x1 surround sound onto your TV. I don't think that's going to happen unless, again, Google or somebody comes to your town and is able to hook up that very fast internet. But until then, it's the Blu-ray is going to have the best sound, best picture quality, because they can up the bandwidth of the video. But if I just want to watch a movie real quick and just enjoy it and not worry about having to go to the store and then packing it when I move, but just put it online, I think it's great. And also I have to worry about scratching my DVDs and Blu-rays. I can just play it, and it's there as long as I have an internet connection. If my internet goes out, well, that's a whole different story. So, but yeah, a lot of people are really pissed off about this, and I don't get why people are so pissed. I don't understand that. And I know I went off onto a whole different topic before, so I'm getting back on topic now. Why are people so pissed off about the Xbox One going a slightly different direction? The games will still be out there. What I'll be pissed about is that I can't play my Xbox 360 games on there. Because the last time I looked, the Xbox One is not backwards compatible. So the games you purchase on the Xbox 360, and I could be wrong. Okay, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But as far as I know, the Xbox One games you can only play Xbox One games. So if you have Call of Duty earlier version, you will have to buy it again, I guess. But another good thing is that the always on feature is also the fact that this again, another rumor is that all the games can be purchased online. You just go to the Windows Marketplace or the Xbox Marketplace and select what game you want and purchase, and you can download the game, install it on your Xbox, and play it right away instead of having to go to the game store, or gaming store. So that's a good thing. Would it put the gaming stores out of business? Probably so. Look at Blockbuster, right? Look at Blockbuster. Now, another thing that I'm really excited about is Google Glass, and right now only developers and select people are able to have Google Glass, and so it's really restricted right now. It's still in beta, but maybe by the holidays or maybe sometime in the summer, Google is going to go ahead and release Google Glass out to the public, and for $1,000 you can buy this glass, and the price of it may come down just a little bit. I imagine that probably the cheapest Google Glass you can buy is probably going to be like $700 or $800, but built into the Google Glass is a little computer on the side, so you have where the camera is, the computer goes off to the back ear, and so all the electronics of it is built into it, and in your glass you have a display, so you're walking about and you're like, okay, hey Google Glass, or hey Glass, when is the next bus coming? Hey Glass, show me a way to get to downtown Austin and avoid all the rush hour traffic. And automatically it will, pop up the directions and all that. But what else is good for is that I can take pictures. Hey Glass, take a picture. It can record everything that you do and upload to YouTube and Google Plus automatically. I mean, there are different applications for it. I think that's great, but a lot of people have concerns about their privacy. Yes, their privacy. Because as I'm walking around in this glass, and let's say I want to keep private, and I don't want people to see where I'm at, but someone's walking on with glass, they're going to be able to see me because I'm being recorded and uploaded to YouTube. But that's already happening, folks. People are pulling out cameras for vlogging, just to videotape stuff, and your images are being uploaded to Flickr and YouTube automatically. So I think the privacy thing is gone out the door. That's gone. Get over it. But I do see some of the concerns, like the casinos have concerns for that, because if you can broadcast live on Google Hangout, with that you can talk to your friends back at home, and they can keep track of where all the cards are at and tell you which move to make to win that buck. I can see how that can be a problem as far as when you go to a bank, and record, and you're standing in line, but you're recording a person talking to a bank teller all their privacy data, and if someone pulls out a checkbook, you can get their bank transit numbers. You stand behind somebody at an ATM machine, you can record their passcode and then have someone else jump them to get their credit card, whatever. The thing is, it can be done with Google Glass. Ta-da! Google Glass, your privacy is gone. So I think I can see why people are a little up in arms about not wanting to have Google Glass everywhere. In some cases, is maybe not a good idea, and I can imagine that there will be signs posted in front of certain places where they say Google Glass, you must take them off. The same way as, if you go to some places, they will say you must wear a T-shirt, even men, in order to enter the store. I can imagine that. Or please turn off your cell phone while waiting in line if you're like at a bank or something like that. They do have those kind of signs. Now, Facebook and Twitter is going to be launching an app for Google Glass, so I can tweet my location and take photographs, and Facebook it as well. So automatically, Facebook will grab that picture and post that picture on up, and it will automatically log me in at the place I'm at. So if I'm at a bar and grill, I can say, hey, I'm at the bar and grill with my friends, here's a picture, we're having fun, yay, and there it is. And so I think that's a good idea. So in some cases, it's a great thing, and then in some cases, I can see where people are concerned about privacy. Now, Apple and Google are the #1 apps You know, they have the #1 marketplace in all the mobile markets. BlackBerry and Microsoft are really trying to get there. And one thing is, BlackBerry is not out yet. The BlackBerry 10 is not even out yet. But yet they have 120,000 apps before the release of BlackBerry. 120,000. That means they really got to the developers, and they work with the developers to try to get those apps developed so that on the release date of BlackBerry 10, they will already have a good sufficient amount of apps that people can choose from. Microsoft is now holding this spot at 145,000 apps, and at one time Microsoft apps were being developed faster than Apple and Google. Like the rate, like the amount of apps that were being submitted on a daily basis was climbing fast. And so yes, Android and Apple, you know, they're like 800,000 apps, 500,000 to 800,000 apps, and of course 250,000 of that is natively made for iPad and all that. Great, you know. But the thing is that the Windows Store, the Windows Marketplace, was growing at a faster rate than Android and Apple. But now it's starting to kind of slow down just a little bit, okay? But what you got to think about is that most of the apps in there are kind of duplicates. There's a crap load of weather apps. And I'm talking about all the platforms. I'm not talking about Apple. I'm not talking about just Google Play. I'm not talking about the Windows Marketplace or anything like that. I'm talking about all the mobile app stores. If you look at the app stores, there's a crap load of weather apps. There's a crap load of word editing stuff, remote desktop stuff. I mean, there's a lot there. There are duplicates. What you got to think about is that, yes, the top 10 apps, and I'm going to put the link to this article that actually broke it down, but the top 50 apps of Android, maybe Microsoft has maybe 30 of them, or 25 of them in the Windows Marketplace. Of the top 50 apps of Apple, Windows Phone has maybe 35 of those apps. But the fact is that you can find the same type of apps on a Windows Phone. Now, for me, I don't use Instagram. I don't. I joined it. I have an account there, but I hardly use it because I have a perfectly good Flickr account that I've been using ever since 2005. And since 2005, all the photos I've ever taken in my life, every single photo that I still have in my possession in my life, from the time I was born until now, every single picture that I take, even the bad ones, are uploaded to Flickr. Okay? So Flickr is like my photo archive. And I pay my $25, or is it 14 or 24, whatever it is per year. I pay that amount to keep my 30,000 pictures, I believe I have, uploaded to Flickr. And some are private, which means, you know, some of those pictures I don't want it known or seen to the public, but they're up there, and I don't have to worry about carrying around a huge hard drive full of pictures. But what's good about Instagram is that it is a community, and at one time Flickr was the popular photo app community. It was, and it still is, in my opinion. Even the new look. I mean, a lot of people don't like the new look. I believe in change. I believe in change. I love change. And even though it's a little annoying, the new Flickr page is a little annoying. It is. But I will get used to it eventually. Okay? And the thing is, people are like, oh my God, they ruined it, and this and that and the other, and blah, blah, blah. No, they're just trying to keep up with the times because Instagram is doing better than Flickr at this time. People love Instagram. I really don't see it. I guess that's just because I've given everything to Flickr already. there is no point for me to move over to Instagram because everything I own is on Flickr. For me to switch to Instagram, it's like me having to dig everything in the attic, in the basement, and in every little speck of dust in order to move over to Instagram. And I'm not going to do that. But at this time, Flickr is going to give everybody for free, if you're not a pro subscriber like I am, 1 terabyte of storage, which is about 500 or 50,000 pictures, I believe. I mean, and it's on their homepage. I'll put the link in the description below. But it's about 50,000, I think, 18 megapixel pictures. I think that's awesome. So Flickr, I think you're doing a good job. Your new site, the new design, all that, yes, it's a little much. It's a lot. Okay, I have to admit. It's like, okay, this is different. This is way different than what I'm used to working with on Flickr. In fact, I didn't even know. To tell you the truth, I did not see or hear any announcement about Flickr doing that. I just went to my Flickr one day and I'm like, what the hell is going on? It looks like like Instagram. I'm like, did Instagram and Flickr get together or something? Did they merge, or did Yahoo buy out Instagram? I didn't know what was going on. But Instagram, yeah, it's not something I use. And Windows Phone at this time doesn't have an Instagram app dedicated. There are some third-party apps out there that people can buy or download, but yeah, it's not something I really use, so it's not that much of a concern for me. Flickr, that is my ecosystem. I love it. I'm going to continue using it forever, however long they stay in business. So hopefully that won't be anytime soon. But as far as other apps, I mean, there are apps out there for just about everything. The only app that Windows Phone is missing are Google apps, and I mean the small case apps, not the uppercase apps. So Google apps such as like YouTube app, the Google AdSense. On my Android now, I can monitor my AdSense account. To see how much money is in my account and stuff like that. But if I want to do that on my Windows Phone, I have to open up my a web browser, Internet Explorer, and look at it that way. So that's the only problem. It would be nice to have a dedicated app for that. Google Plus app, there are no Google apps at all. In fact, Google said, we're not going to do it. Whatever. Because the platform doesn't have enough people on it. Google, just I know I'll never get a job with Google after this podcast, because I really just do not agree with Google and how they're going about doing things in the way they're doing it. I mean, Microsoft has been doing a great job at making SkyDrive available on all different platforms. And there are many other apps that Microsoft has developed. Skype, for instance. Of course, Skype was already available for many different platforms before Microsoft bought it. But Microsoft is continuing to provide the updates and all that for all the different platforms, because it's about business. And the more people use Skype, the better. The more people who use SkyDrive, the better. Of course, it works for Microsoft in the long run. All right, so but what's happening is that YouTube, Microsoft said, okay, we're going to forget this live tile launch to a mobile website of YouTube and go ahead and design an app. The only problem is that Microsoft doesn't have access to all the meta tags or the metadata that is stored on the YouTube servers. That's only available for iPhones or let's say iOS and Android users. And so, or devices, say it like that. YouTube or Microsoft designed an app, and it's a really great app. Got great reviews, but then immediately Google sent a cease and desist letter over to Microsoft saying, hey, you got to discontinue this. You cannot continue to do this without putting ads. Microsoft was like, well, we'll be happy to put ads, but you will need to give us access to all the metadata. So finally, Microsoft and Google are going to build to work together to create a jointly made YouTube app for the Windows Phone platform, and hopefully for the Windows 8 RT platform as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to create for that. So that's a good thing when it comes to these companies working together. I like to see that, because basically I'm a user of all devices. I don't have Apple at this time, and that's not, and that is by choice. I don't have any need for Apple products. It doesn't mean that I dislike Apple. I don't dislike Apple at all. In fact, I think the iOS phone or iPhone and iPads, I think they're great devices. If I had all the money in the world, I'll be buying an iPad. In fact, I'll probably get the iPad mini. And I'll probably get, and I don't need an iPhone, but I'll probably get the iPod Touch. Okay? Just so I can have some type of iOS portable device. But, when it comes to Google, I use Google Apps. I do. I use Google Apps for a lot of my emails, but I also have a Microsoft Live account, and I also have an Office 365 account as well. That's because I love all technologies. Technology is very important to me, and I love playing with it. I love seeing the differences. Yes, I favor Microsoft products over all the rest, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I hate Google. It doesn't mean that I hate Apple. I think Apple has a lot to offer, and again, if I had all the money in the world, I'll have one of those what is it called? The Mac, the standalone one. It's at the top of my tongue. I can't think of it, but Mac, Apple has a standalone, all-in-one. It's actually an all-in-one PC, which I think is excellent. I'll get the 24-inch version, and that would be my main Mac, and that would probably be my only Mac, but that would be like my main Mac there, so at least I have something to play with in the OS X environment. But anyway, I just want to say, everybody, have a good night, good day, whatever day or time of day that you're listening to this. And this is shiz.us. My name is Antonio Edward. This is a production of Shiz Media, which is also a subsidiary of Why Not Media Productions and Sargent Incorporated, copyrighted 2013. Peace out. Check you later.